What's up everyone, Blade here, and welcome back to another video of Persona 5 The Phantom X. Besides today's video, guys, we're going to be going over the best priority of awarenesses and Cognite shards that you could be going ahead and getting out of this. Now, this was something I was ended up asked about, I think it was today or yesterday, in which was from this comment right here, being that, will you make a video going over the standard 5-star character awarenesses and what's their best priority in the Cognite cases from Lufel Plan and or the Kagura Bell draws. So I decided to go ahead and just go over everything in general. So we're going to have these three things that we're going to talk about first today. One of them being the Cognite Thief Shards, going over the characters all in here and what I recommend the best. I'm going to do this in a function of what I recommend in the top 3 as my selections based on what's in there currently. Then of course we're going to go over the box that is from the, I think the prayer bells, the Kagura bells here, which are also going to have their top 3 in here. And then I'm going to do the top 3 for Lufel's business plan. Now luckily I haven't completed this fully, so it has not disappeared just yet, but there is a box in here that they're asking about what are the best ones to get out of here. This one's going to be simplistic, so I think for this one I'm going to say the top 4. So that out in the way here, you guys, hopefully you enjoy the video. And right before we get into it, if you are looking to get any gems or anything else for the cheap and for the low, pitch this real quick right for me. Lootbar.com. Now Lootbar.com was known as lootbar.gg not long ago, but recently they ended up leveling up pretty much the same service as you guys see on the screen, and I gotta admit, this is one of my favorite sites to use. I usually use it for my main games such as Star Savior, Neverness to Everness, 7 Deadly Sins, and even sometimes my Persona account when I do want to do that as well. And they are insanely worth it. If there is a game you want to play, if there's anything you're looking for, Lootbar is the one who's going to have it for cheap. Now, luckily inside of my description for a lot of you guys, if you go ahead and use that link, it's going to send you straight over to Persona itself. And they've been doing this for a long time. I've used their services for years, ever since the Genshin Impact days, and they have done me nothing but justice. I've done previously a ton of sponsorships with them. I'm still doing sponsorships with them on 7DS, and they ended up offering me this option for Persona 5 itself. Well, thankfully to you guys here, if you use my link, you're able to of course access a ton of discounts for different packs down below here, which is going to be very, very helpful. They're fast, reliable, and trustworthy, and if you don't believe that as well, you can even check out their Trustpilot reviews, which are insanely high compared to any other website themselves. As you can see, they immediately have an excellent rating, and if you go to Trustpilot themselves as well, you will see the rating for yourselves. By going ahead and utilizing Lootbar itself, not only is it quick, but you're able to gain yourself tons of different savings and tons of codes, as well as points that act like Google Play points themselves that will help you get things even lower on a discount. So if you're anything like me who loves cheap options, such as like getting like the Hawk Pass, Coffee Aids, or anything like that, pretty much cheaper, well then this is going to be your website. But now I've talked about this, guys, we're going to go ahead and get back straight to the video. Alright, so now we are back. Now that we have all that out of the way here, you guys, once again, check out Lootbar. I'm going to try to get you guys as well some more Battle Pass stuff here for cheap and other things as well. We luckily did very good for P5X recently, so I did get a lovely code for you guys not long ago, but I'm going to be fighting for some more codes as well. So anyone helping for that really does mean a lot, but let's get into the video. So as I did say before, I was asked about this, and this is going to mainly pertain to the Thief Cognite shards themselves first, seeing that they were trying to figure out what characters would be the most worth it to investing into. As we can see currently on Global, we have all of these characters going from Ryuji all the way down to Yumi. Of course, I'm unsure if they're going to add more units into this. Maybe they will, but I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. But essentially, we have recently started getting new characters added to this. The top 3 newest ones that happened on TW was Joker, Bowie, and of course our man Yusuke. Then later down the line, it seems like that this might happen for TW as well, being Makoto and Yumi. Now currently it does go down to Yumi, but people asked, what is going to be the best one for this thing here? Out of the top 3 that I want to go ahead and recommend for a lot of you guys, the top one is going to be Yusuke as a really good investment, and this is more of a future investment, and I'll get more into that. The next one will most likely be Minami, in my opinion. Minami is an amazing healer for a number 2, And then the number 3 is going to be Makoto currently. Now, this is going on the aspect that they're probably not going to add any more of these into this box here or anything like that. And it's mainly going on the aspect of now. So to start off with Yusuke. Yusuke recently, the reason why I put him at the top here, even though it's going to be a long time for you guys to wait here, is because he did get a level 100. Now, a lot of you guys, especially who are my free-to-plays out there, are already trying to plan for that time period. So if you wanted to actually go ahead and plan, Yusuke would be a very, very good addition to this, seeing that he is making waves in the community currently on the KRTW side of things. Even though we have characters such as like Summer Puppet, his A6 makes him absolutely insane. And seeing that you guys are already able to pretty much get up this character and get them prepared and start getting dupes for them, he honestly isn't a bad choice. Him being a DPS that is this viable still, and that his level 100 has made insanely viable compared to some of the other characters as well, is very astonishing, because that level 100 itself took this character from just the dirt little trenches of where he was all the way up. The main reason for this is because now that ice characters in the final the ice characters that are also of this same ally ability actually get a final damage increase. Alongside with him going ahead and now being a level 100 character, unlike on what's it called, Global, where we have him still not level 100 just yet, in which I think I have him further back here. I don't even think I've used him. Actually, no, he might not be on this account. No, he's on my other Global account. So let's just move over just to look at the guy real quick. Unlike on Global, where we can't get him level 100 over here, and he's only based on his defense capabilities, with his amplification, he's able to also help out his own damage, his damage multi in general. The crit damage is nice. He's able to increase his skill damage, which is now going to be based on his attack instead of only being based on defense. Everything that he was able to do was based on the defense side of things, where now once he does go ahead and get that level 100, his passive gives him a defense bonus, but it's based on his attack. So now the character can primarily start dealing damage based on that attack percentage as well, not only that defense percentage, which is really, really helpful. Alongside of this here, he has some stacks that are insanely helpful for himself, which give him different buffs. This is going to be from proccing different persona skills and everything like that. And with this, he's increasing his ice allies damage and his own damage. And this is going to be based on his awareness level too. So if his awareness level is higher, he is going to get more critical effects off of this. And this awareness level will also affect the amount of damage amplification he can get. So once we get new daggers and things that are going to be like the Glacial Eternity dagger, or even some of the daggers that we currently have being Wonders All-In dagger, which is going to look like this one, he will be actually very, very helpful here for future type teams, making him insanely worth into investing into. And also, since he is a character that could work with Cord, he's a character that can end up being very helpful with Cherish in the future, who's also going to be on the standard banner. I do think investing into him early won't really be the worst of ideas. Clearing things with him will be pretty easy, and it is kind of easy now. It just is not going to get you the top ranks that you're looking for, but at the same time, it will help you clear out any content that you want that's PvE, because the character himself is just a stall madness, man. Like, he still does damage. He doesn't do top tier damage until that level 100 does come out, but he is a very good Cognite shard to at least invest into. Now going into the second one, which is going to be Minami. Minami, I definitely still say on a Global is insanely worth it. For my people who are playing TW, you can ignore this part because this doesn't really affect you guys. You still can go for it, but really Minami is one of the few characters that you kind of one and done this character, get her A1, you're good. And that's what I'm mainly gonna be leading off of. Because Minami herself, she isn't crazy. She isn't really doing the most of things here, but by going ahead and getting her A1, she is able to give us Pin. Now, Pin is a huge deal for anyone who wants DPSs, and this is going to be based on just overhealing herself. She's giving you a 20% Pin. So going ahead and actually building further into this character isn't actually that bad at all, because you're just going to get way more healing. You're going to be able to heal more people at a time, which is also fantastic. I think Tomoko now, when she has her A1 as well, not only is she giving a debuff whenever she's using her weapon, or I think that's her weapon, but not only is she doing some extra stuff here, but as Tomoko is also healing everyone. Well, A1 or A2 allows at least our Minami to heal another character as well. as long as their target HP is going below. But she also has that AoE heal function that's also fantastic. Add that in with the Pierce, it's already great. And if you're able to max out this character in the long run, you're getting yourself not only more heals later down the line, but you're also getting yourself a easy revive, which is very, very nice to have as well. Now we do have characters such as Anj, who has her A2 that does have a revive as well, kind of doling down the usefulness of this dupe itself. But I still do think it is very helpful if you're a person who are just looking to clear the game, looking to get through the game. I don't think you can really go wrong with just getting this character a 6, or at least investing into the Cognite shards for her currently. So really good character, very universal, does have a lot of healing. So I do think this is fantastic to go ahead and use. Now this leads me into like my third one, which is final for this Cognite box, or this Cognite shard here. And I would say the third one is definitely going to be Makoto Nijima here. Only reason for this is because she's a single targeter. Her single target damage is really cool, and she hasn't gotten to level 100 yet on TW. I don't think that she's going to be the strongest out of the characters that are single target in here, because of course we have Yui in here with her level 100, who I'm pretty sure is hitting a little bit harder than Makoto. And then we do have Ryuji, which whenever he gets level 100 is probably going to hit like a truck. But I do think Makoto, whenever she gets her level 100, or even just now on global, this is probably a good decision. She's actually a really good single targeter, and even I think on global she's pretty darn high still, even though she's not the best of single targeters on here. She's still pretty decent, right? I think she's sitting at a good T2 to T1 for DPS, which we have obvious DPSs who are way higher than that. Heck, I think even on global wise, even Akechi might be higher than that, but at the same time it still doesn't dull how useful this character is. If you're able to get at least a dupe on her as well, I do feel like her dupes are what really make Makoto shine the most, and that's what's really going to allow her to be insanely good. But without dupes, she kind of wavers off a little bit more so, at least in that way. I do think the character though, if you want to invest into Cognite shards and really want to at least exploit having the extra Cognite shards available, and you didn't feel like investing into anyone else as this, I do think this is probably your better choice, because keep in mind on global we are in pretty much character jail, so I'm not mentioning the characters that can obviously be added in here. If there were other characters in here like cherishing them, we would probably pick those over these characters currently, but for what we have right now, we don't have them in here, so I am recommending Makoto. Now at the end of the video, I'll probably recommend what's not in here yet to you guys, but we'll do that later. But Makoto is still insanely good, so I do think she's a good one to get out of here. Now going straight to the shop one, what's in the shop box as of now. Now shop box I don't think is changing. I think this is what it's going to stay as. Like we might get Cherish in here, but don't quote me on that, so I'm just going to go off of what's in here currently. Best Cognites that you would get out of this right now, in the top 3 order right now, I'm going to benefit off of saying Minami. The next one is going to be On, and the next one after that is going to be Ryuji. This is going to be plain and simple. I already explained Minami. She's insanely good, and I think that she deserves that first place spot. On herself, one of the best AoE like free-to-play characters that you can end up using, getting past all the content. That makes her insanely good to actually keep in handy. If you can get this, and even though it's not like your craziest characters in here, this is still good for you guys to go ahead and go through some content who has a really helpful AoE character. Then lastly, Ryuji. Does a ton of damage. If you have Anj here, you're going to deal a lot of damage with the single target. It's going to get you through a lot of things that you want to get through if you need to boss something. So I do think Ryuji is going to be very good, but he also has a lot of future potential as well. Seeing that we're getting more physical related like buffers and stuff, that's going to help him out. And then eventually, if you are investing into Ryuji himself, he can deal just monstrous damage in general, even if he doesn't have cards on. So I do think that this character is really good to actually use as your third one. I know a lot of people are probably thinking, why am I not seeing the navigators? The main reason for not Phoebe here is just because you're never going to really see Phoebe that often unless you're doing guild boss, and you have to cater too much to her in order to make her really work. And by that I mean, like, you really want to use mono teams. If you're not going to use mono team, you gotta have a couple dupes to actually utilize her without using a full mono team, which is not in most people's best interest. So I'm not gonna really recommend Yumi out of this, but top 3 is definitely going in the order of Minami, An, and Ryuji. And then lastly, if you are new to the game, or if you're a person like me who's just downright lazy to do these here, you probably haven't completed all your Lufel business plans. Best out of this here is pretty much the no-brainers here. An goes first, Ryuji goes second. I hate to say this, but Mona would go third. Like, because I'll be honest, Haruna and Yaling, you're rarely ever gonna use these. I use Mona over Yaling, and I know some people are gonna look at me like, really? But it comes down because of Vino being a 4-star debuffer. Vino is still insanely busted, so I would rather use her instead of using Yaling out of this. So, An, Ryuji, Morgana, self-explanatory. I already explained 2 of them. Mona's mainly because of the healing, the follow-up, which is always nice. And he can easily get a knockdown at times if you use Lucky Punch correctly. So I mean, like, that could be very helpful as well. But now that I went through all of that stuff here, hopefully that answered all of you guys' questions based on that. But in the future, we will have some different characters. Now in the future, you're gonna have characters such as like Cherish, Turbo, Howler. If I'm being honest, if and when those characters come out, I would get them in this order. Turbo is my number 1 pick. She's an insanely busted standard character that is really helpful to go ahead and have on your account, that honestly you can sub her into any team. The next one is going to be Cherish. Seeing Cherish kind of can be subbed into any team as well, but it's because of the over amount of tanking stuff you do need for one of the game modes. One of the game modes does require a defender very often, so having Cherish as that and as your pick in the box later down the line, that would be very helpful to have. And then thirdly, Howler, mainly just because she's insanely good as a debuffer. It is kind of unfortunate though if you don't have dupes on her. She is getting outscaled, or at least on the same par as Vino at A6. So I mean, like, you could very well just say screw that and not do Howler, but Howler still has an AoE side to her debuff that's insanely good. So I mean, like, it's honestly up to you on what you want to do regarding that at least. But those are all my recommendations for this. Once again, you guys, check out the loot bar link as well if you do want to help out with the channel. More sales that we get on that, the more registers and stuff that we get on that as well, the more discounts and things I can get for you guys. Keep in mind, this is not for pressure or anything like that. This is up to you guys at the end of the day. Do what you think is safe and what you think is going to allow you to keep having fun. But till then, everybody, thank you guys for watching the video, and peace out.